Liam Rosen, David Price here from Sky Magazine at the European Ultimate Championships 2015 in wonderful Copenhagen, Denmark. David, we're here at the opening ceremony. You can see all the teams that are attending the championships down there with their flags here at Valby Idrætspark in Copenhagen.
That's right, Liam. It's been a bit wet day so far and a bit windy, as we can see, but the crowds are gathering to watch this opening ceremony and to watch the first game here in the open division, which will be between Denmark and Sweden. We're having some talk here from the tournament director, and there'll be some introductions of key figures and, of course, the teams eventually.
So kick back, watch, enjoy the ceremony, and we'll check in with you later for some more comments and to introduce the game.
They must love the game just as much as you, or perhaps even more, because they've come from all over Europe and even beyond, from countries like China, Venezuela, Colombia, Canada, and the US, to work for free. So whenever you see a yellow volunteer jersey, show them your gratitude, show them your respect. They're here for you. Finally, I would like to bring some attention to some of the names and faces that you should know from the tournament organizing committee during this week. You've seen Audi, the EUC president. Ted. Okay, Ted is the treasurer of EUC. He's in his car on his way from the Netherlands. We have Dario Viksjorfors, Spirit Director, Gabriele Sani, Sports Development, both from the EUC Executive Board, Karina Vogt, from the World Flying Restoration Event Management, who's been incredibly helpful. On the Danish part, we have Esbjørn Fink, who's going to be Director of Competition this week. And Niels Perry, our Danish sports administrator, who's been practically pulling every string. Thank you, Niels. Thank you, guys. Final words. Just remember that sports is not war, sports is not politics. Make sure you make new friendships this week. Thank you.
Give it up for our speakers, John Christian, Adi, and Matthias Severin. So, the next thing on the program is a little bit more of Danish culture. This is something that the Deer Danes started doing in the 1800s when the nights were cold and they needed a good time. They started dancing. And when the nights were even colder, they sat down and they were making their costumes to be pretty and perfect for the next time there was a social gathering where they could go out, have fun with some true folk dance. So for the next 10 minutes, please give a warm welcome to our local folk dancing group, Green Dancers! the players on the teams, starting with green, please get up for number 7, Holland. Number 8, cross going. Number 9, red. Number 10, Holland. Number 11, Oscar. In 15 is Tom Fortran. With 25, Viksjorfors. 27, Cambo. 28, Viksjorfors. 74, Holland. 86, Viksjorfors. 89, Holland. 92, Viksjorfors. And number 93, Viksjorfors. Let's hear it for the European national team from Sweden. And now, from the north, player with jersey number 0, Viksjorfors. Shirt number 1 is number 2. Number 2, Holland. Player number 3, Viksjorfors. Number 5, Viksjorfors. Player number 6, let's go. Number 7, Holland. So, Sweden will start on offense on the right, your right hand side. Thank you. Now, I kindly ask you for a moment of attention, please.
So if you're listening on the stream, there's going to be a moment of silence. I don't know if you can hear it over the announcements. We'll just tell you a bit about it. There was a French player, Sébastien Martineau, that collapsed and died of a heart attack 2 weeks ago at a Masters preparation tournament in Switzerland. It's going to be a moment of silence for him. So if you're watching the stream, please join David and I and the fans in the stands in a brief moment of silence.
Many of his teammates decided to stay home because the funeral will be out this week. And in order to show them our sympathy and also to Sebastian's family, I also kindly ask you to stand up and hug each other in a big spirit circle. Make also on the grandstand a spirit circle, and to hold 1 minute of silence in memory of Sebastian from now. Adios, Sebastian. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us in this commemoration of the Viksjorfors. There is now about 10 minutes to the opening game of the European Ultimate Championship 2015. Get a little refreshment down here and go to the toilet, do whatever it takes.
Yeah, a minute silence there in memory of the French player. There'll now be a 10-minute warm-up for the teams. They have had a warm-up already, but they're probably a bit cold now. We will let them warm up for a while and then come back to you with some fun facts and statistics ready for this matchup here at the European Ultimate Championships. This is Sky Magazine's coverage.
What were the last three?
You just told me Bragner, Bayern
was 9.
Andre was 9, Bayern was 10,
Right.
Bragner was 89,
Byron is 10.
7 Byron. No, you said 7, you said 10.
Byron is 10. Andre was.
Yeah, you said 9.
He's talking to you.
Oh,
He said that there's roster graphics they can show.
is it? We don't know if it's right or not.
It might
You should maybe not.
We've got a roster graphic.
Yeah, we don't know if it's right though, because we've got issues with numbers.
Yeah.
For the Danes, it's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So do it. Do
It'd be
it.
cool to show it look professional.
Yep. 11. Salim.
Liam Rosen here with David Price, Sky Magazine's coverage of the European Ultimate Championships 2015 in Copenhagen, Denmark. If you're just tuning in, this is the showcase game. Sweden is going to take on Denmark. David, we were talking a little bit before the game. What does Sweden need to do to win this game?
Yeah, as we say, we're discussing before the game, and we've already noted that we think the Swedes should use their height and their athleticism to beat this Danish team, who are probably going to be suffering from some nerves and some worries here in their home tournament here in Copenhagen.
The Danish team, they've been waiting around all day to play this game, which is not always a good sign. A lot of them are helping organize the tournament, have been around, just waiting for the game to start. They're playing, as you said, in front of the home fans. Can be a nerve-wracking experience. Sweden has been here before. We saw them 2012 World Ultimate and Guts Championships take down Japan in a upset game. Weather similar to this one, maybe a bit windier. They're going to use their height. They're going to throw it up to their big receivers. I think Sweden has the odds here. Denmark needs to play the upset.
And here we go. Liam will be doing play-by-play, and I'll be adding some color as we go through. Sweden's now starting on offense.
So we've got Martin Filipowski starting off with the centering disc. He's the oldest player in this squad at 40 years old. High disc over the top. Poor choice. Intercepted by Christopher Sverke. Call on the plate. And just a poor decision, I think. High release backhand. Denmark working it back up the other side of the field. Svargaard looking to get it off the line. No options. Inside breakout to the center, and it's a quick pop for the goal. Peter Fadel strikes first, and Denmark with the early break.
There's a lovely little break in there to go off the sideline. He did have a bit of trouble there trying to go around, but the Danes, who I played against at Windmill and many times in the past, they will always look for that inside break. It's pretty much their number one option, and as you can see, it was very effective there, right on the end zone line. Easy little pop pass into the goal. Lovely little work there by Danes, taking advantage of a bad decision by the Swedes.
Not sure what Sweden was thinking there. Just a poor decision. High released throw that floated really into no one.
Yeah,
maybe nerves are on their side.
Maybe I couldn't even see who they were throwing to, and maybe the wind is a bit strange down there on the pitch. I can't quite see where it's coming from up here either. But there is a stadium, obviously, which will block the wind in funny ways, as we've seen at many tournaments, like Windmill. There's some strange wind around the end zones at Windmill, and that might be very similar here.
And I think there's just enough wind this game to make it interesting. Probably anywhere between 15, 25 kilometers per hour as Denmark pulls off again to Sweden.
And there's that wind pulling making that pull go out there.
Would have been a great pull if not for the sudden gust. So we'll see Filipowski bring it back to the line. Filipowski was a stalwart on the Swedish mixed team that won gold. European Championships of Beach Ultimate in 2013. Sweden came to that tournament a relative unknown and walked away with the gold medal in a dominant performance. Filipowski starting out from the brick. To Sjögren. Sjögren, no dump options. He's got to float it up to no one.
Ooh.
And it looks like a foul will be called.
It's a bit cynical, that one. Definitely defender coming from behind there, just sticking a hand in, trying to slow the play down.
And Sweden not sure what's going on. That was nearly a stall out. There was no communication on that dump. In any case, Denmark will look to break one more time. Monroe up to Alsted, to the goal for Mads Gottlieb. And Denmark with two quick breaks off some careless mistakes from Sweden.
And no nerves here for Denmark. They're going against the standard commentary curse. We say one thing, another thing happens. And in fact, I'd be edging to say the Swedes looking very nervous and very unsure of what they're actually meant to be doing in this game.
But you can't underestimate them, David. If I were Denmark right now, you've got to keep the intensity up. They've come out maybe in a bit of an upset, 2 early breaks. You know that Sweden is a talented team. They're the defending European champions, won gold at 2011 in Maribor.
Yeah.
So you know that they are eventually going to clean it up. Going up by 2 breaks is huge, but you've got to maintain that cushion.
Oh, I mean, ultimately, it's a game of runs. Like you say, Denmark, if they want to finish this game, they've got to finish it now and get a load of breaks in a row. Sweden here potentially calling a timeout.
Yeah, I like that timeout call. That's 2 quick mistakes. Calm the nerves, say, hey boys, opening game, we're in this now. And we talked a bit about this before, David. Sweden not really known. A lot of European national teams are now going to warm-up tournaments. They're getting some chemistry as a team. Sweden just kind of rock up and do their thing.
Yeah, I mean, almost every major tournament we've seen them in, they just turn up. Like you say, ECB, no one really saw them before the tournament. And then we look at the roster a couple weeks before and we're like, wow, this is one stacked team. And they go on to win it, and they're undefeated, potentially making the tournament easier. But here, again, the Swedes have not really played any warm-up tournaments, whereas the Danes have been to Windmill, they've been to Tom's Tourney. We've seen a lot of them at both of those tournaments, you know, getting some cohesion, playing together. And maybe that's a problem that the Swedes have here. They're not quite, you know, they're trying to have to work things out as they're on the field now. So, I mean, let's see what happens. And like you say, you can never discount the sort of caliber of player that we see in the Swedish team.
And I think a bit of a different Swedish roster, certainly than we've seen even 2-3 years ago at WUGC 2012. They depended a lot on Sebastian Sperong. That was their tall deep cutter, and he won them that quarterfinal upset against Japan. They were just able to throw it up to his height. So a lot of these players previously played on the Swedish national team kind of took a break and are now coming back.
Yeah, we haven't really seen Sperong in a couple of years now on the European circuit. I think he got injured and decided to stop playing for now.
So Denmark looking for their 3rd break of the game. Pulls off to Filipovski. Magnussen. Sundqvist controlling the offense for the Swedes. And Sundqvist, a turf disc. That's been the story of the game for the Swedes so far, these early throw mistakes as Denmark goes the other way. And a giveaway right back from the Danes. Loritz Hermitslu throws that one away, so Filipovski will take his time now, bringing this one back to the line. Sundqvist coming for the rescue. Back out to space, middle of the end zone. Good defensive pressure from Denmark. Sweden, 4 passes, still in their own end zone, David.
Yeah, it looks like the Swedish are having a host stack, and it seems quite deep compared to their handlers, which is giving them some troubles.
Sundqvist, again, the wind very strong now, puts up a flick huck, and here's the height of the Swedes, cleaning up the trash. Johan Brogner pulls one in and gets the Swedish team on the board. But it wasn't pretty.
No, and I don't know if that was really a good option there. There were 2 Danish players in a good position defensively, but I mean they were unlucky not to get the D there. I don't see that happening as the game goes on.
And this is really huck and hope. You've got 2.
Oh, and there's a touch in there as well. I mean, if they'd been able to just get their hand around it, that would have been a turnover.
But as we talked about, this is what Sweden has done in these windy games, is put it up for their athletic receivers. It may not be the style of ultimate that we would preach, but it works for them. And I think that's the most important thing for anyone listening to this stream. If you're a new team starting out and you're looking at other teams to emulate, look at your personnel and develop a style that works for you, and you have to have experience to do that, and that is what the Swedish team has. So Denmark on offense with a chance to hold. Esben Høeg. Dumping the disc back to Elskier. Denmark in a horizontal stack. Christopher Buss needs to get it off the line, and he does to Puck. Thinks about the deep shot, holsters it, Puck hammer. All the way back to Elskier. Bit of nerves here from the Danes, but Høeg. Foul will be called. Bit of a physical defense from Löw on that play.
You can definitely see how the Danes are a bit more patient, taking their time with their resets. And a pick has been called, actually. You can see the hand signal being used there by the Danish. No game advisors here, as we had at World Under-23s. So we'll have to hopefully let the players tell us with their hand signals.
Puck controlling now for the Danish. A lefty backhand. What? It looks like there may have been a call right before that throw went off. So Esben back with it. Guarded by Starwing. There's a pick. Høeg. Beautiful disc out to space to Puck. Handler movement from the Danes. Elskier into the end zone for Christopher Buss. So Denmark with the nice hold.
Yeah, a lovely little patient bit of offense there from the Danes. Taking their time. I think they transitioned from a hoe stack there into a vert stack in the middle of the field there. And unlike the Swedes, they're not wasting their deep space, like standing there and waiting there. They're resetting well around the disc.
Esben Høeg really the key calming factor on that point. Yeah. I know you've played a little bit with him, David, in London.
Yeah, that's right. A couple of years ago, Esben was playing for Fire of London, and he's a very, very good handler, very, very good field awareness, and a very nice ability to switch hands. Actually, you saw him there going with the high release lefty, and he'll pull that out all the time because his first option is always that low inside flick. So it's varying the release point and trying to getting the defender moving and locking them out. If you want to contact me or Liam, we're here on Twitter. We've had a few shout-outs already. We'll get to those later, but I'm David_Price, P-R-Y-C-E, and Liam is Skyd_Liam Rosen.
So another low pull off from the Danes. Sweden will get started right away. Centers to Filipowski. Forsberg. Forsberg is going to put the flick blade all the way back to the far corner, and another blade into the end zone. Blade City for the Swedes. Denmark knocks it away.
I'm not sure about that, but I did enjoy that first blade. Well read by the Swedish player there.
There, if you have a one-on-one matchup in the end zone, use your island. That's not a throw that needs to go up. Take a cut back and take the chest throw. If you can't get that, put it in the dump as the disc goes the other way very quickly from Denmark. So Sweden will pick back up. Filipowski nearly drops. Wind has picked up remarkably in the last few seconds even. Carlson back to Filipowski. Filipowski with his experience, very secure with these windy discs. Tries to put the IO forehand, but a block from Skovgaard. So a couple quick mistakes here from both teams as the wind picks up. Olsted all the way across the field to Sverke. Lindskrog knocked away by Forsberg.
Yeah, I was just thinking that the Danes looked like they were jogging a little bit, not getting into position.
And the handlers are rushing both teams. They've got the time. The dump options are not looking great for either team. No cuts. And Filipovsky has to throw it away. There's no call on that play. Now, number of turns for both teams, so this game on the verge of getting sloppy.
So the wind appears to be going from the camera towards the stands, pushing the disc away from us.
Alsted off the line, foul called. Nice handler cut from Alsted to save that disc, and he's gonna put it deep. And that's a tough one with the speedy Sjögren there for Sweden. Carlson, Forsberg, right outside the end zone line. Dumps back to Sjögren.
Looks like a call.
Forsberg, a bobbled disc from Sweden as they look to strike back the other way. Does Denmark. Got a cutter going deep. Stutz. Alsted now with the flick huck to nobody. And it's nerves, nerves, nerves. Needless rushing from both squads.
Yeah, and they're not adjusting to that wind. Like we say, that flick option there was getting pushed down and away from where he probably wanted to put it. It's not quite what he wanted, I expect.
It feels like, David, this is a very common symptom of a showcase game. You're in the stadium. It's the first game of the tournament. There hasn't been much chemistry as Sweden will now overthrow one of their receivers.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we saw it a little bit in under-23s as well. That first game, the first half was very sloppy for both the Americans and the Brits. But both those teams sorted it out, and in the second half we had a much better game, some fantastic bids. And here we go, the Danes calling a timeout, probably thinking we've had too many turnovers. We need to calm ourselves down, just play our game. One of this huck and D that we seem to be getting in the last few possessions.
I like the timeout call.
Yep. So a couple of shout-outs here. We've already got a couple coming in. A good friend of ours, actually, Jolie Lang of Ultiphotos. Eventually was able to tune in. She downloaded Firefox, and she doesn't know what to expect because she never gets to watch. But she's hoping that we do a good job here. So thanks, Jolie.
We've got a comment from Aslaklau Justesen. Would you do me a favor and refer to number 47 for Denmark, Lindskrog, as Springtøven from now on? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So we'll have to work in a reference to that.
Maybe that's a
Bit
joke.
of an inside joke.
Yeah, maybe it's rude.
Yeah, maybe I should look that up.
Yeah, I'd be careful. Some people get caught out with these sort of things.
It's true.
Who would do that? Some idiot. And another shout here from Dubai, Patrick Forkamp, saying he's looking forward to hear our player pronunciation, which is quite relevant here.
And I hope we're doing a good job. We've got a couple tough ones. Danish, I've been trying to learn Danish in the run-up to, unsuccessfully I might add.
Really?
Using Duolingo. It's a very hard language to pronounce. So I had tried to learn Swedish previously. It's spelled like Swedish, but the pronunciation is very guttural. A lot of people will refer to the Danes jokingly as they've sounded like they've got a sack of potatoes in their throat.
Yeah, our eternal polyglot here, Liam Rosen, trying to learn every language in the world. But we're back with the game now. Danes on offense. Getting it off that sideline.
So Alsted now with the disc. Travel called. Play does not stop, so we'll continue. Denmark still on that sideline, having to put it all the way. That's going to be a hospital pass, knocked away again by Tom Forsberg, his second D of the point.
Yeah, there was a slip there from the reset, and that kind of messed up their play there, and they had to go for that floaty break side throw.
Both teams' resets not looking great. Hard to tell whether it's a symptom of good shutdown defense, but rather I think players just aren't getting into position. Filipovsky wants the up line, even pointing to it, gets it back out to Skuld. Skuld, the blade, and in the wind, those blades are not working. You've got to have a chest pass. Just jump, hop, skip, and jump it in. So Denmark now trying to go the other way. Alsted, Danes recently having trouble getting it out of their own end zone. No cuts from downfield.
Yeah, you mix that with the way that the Swedes there were sitting off the handlers a little bit, trying to force them to swing it instead of taking these big gainers, which they've now got.
Hansen, a layout save. Denmark right on the line. Lindskrog.
Ooh, the crowd, not so sure. A bit of booing coming from the crowd, but it seems like it's been agreed to be up.
Violation called.
You can't tell from the replay.
It looked like it was up when he caught it. Maybe the crowd is saying he bobbled it.
Yeah, and the player with him had a better perspective, I'd say. Here's the other replay from the other angle. So we're back in.
Alsted too far. And a brutal point for both teams. Neither able to punch it in.
Bit of a cheer there from the crowd. You're probably thinking the disc doesn't lie there. We still aren't sure about that disc being up or down though. So
Filipovsky offhand to Forsberg. Sjögren dumps back to Filipovsky. Hard mark from the Danes. Filipovsky getting bumped. And not having a great point is Philip Skuld. That's his third turnover of the point.
And a travel called there.
Lindskrog will take it back. Both teams breathing hard. You can see they're tired. There's so many turns. Lindskrog bumped immediately on the mark. And that's a hard reset option. If you have to go IO on your reset, come behind him for the blow-by. Lindskrog out to space for Stutz, toes the line. Denmark goes up 4-1. And David, I think that's a big mental point. The team that can score on a point like that, you can shift the momentum, or in Denmark's case, keep the momentum going in their direction.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, now they're 3 points up and much closer to the half. I mean, Sweden have only now scored one, or as Denmark have demonstrated they can score at both ends. That timeout working perfectly in their favor. A few more shout-outs here. We've got Ubu, that's a Birmingham Ultimate, saying Liam doing his best Evan Lepler impression, whilst I just got to keep being myself. For those of you who tuned in for World Under-23s, we have the wonderful Liam Grant is also here with us with Sky Magazine. Unfortunately, not able to play due to a party-based injury, which I'm sure we'll get to at some other point. We'll cover that story. Don't worry, guys. But he'll be helping tomorrow with commentary and throughout the week. Those are our three main commentators. But back to this game.
Nice pull from the Danes. It's a roller. Sweden having trouble picking it up, and now Denmark coming out in the zone.
Yeah, This is probably the right option here with the Swedes being quite nervous, and now it seems like we've transitioned a little bit here. This potentially might be man. That's a nice option to sort of distort the deep option that they're looking for, and especially with the nerves and the wind, it's a perfect strategy. But Swedes able to work their way through, even with some riskier shots there.
Very low disc. Filipovsky has had to work hard to save some of these. Sundqvist up to Bedian. Off the line. Filipovsky stuck on the far sideline. The call on the field, there's some animated discussion going on now.
Yeah, I think it's a travel. The crowd thinking it's a joke, but not sure what the punchline would be here.
Filipovsky far sideline gets it back off to Sundqvist. Bedian, there's a pick called instead. Sundqvist will check in. Forsberg cuts from the middle of the stack. Danes bumping on the marks, a tip disc. That'll go up for the second effort.
Unfortunate there for the Swedes. It was a nice option, just not executed well.
Larsson doing a great job after the second effort, D. And unfortunately, that is what we in the Ultimate community refer to as the conservation of greatness.
Yeah.
Can never have too much greatness on one single point, but kudos to Larsson. He jogs back down, and Sweden will go the other way. Bedian dumping to Sundqvist. Denmark actually back out in their zone.
Yeah, I mean, that's quickly sorted out as well. I mean, sometimes with a quick bit of transition between O and D, things can not quite work out well, but they've again transitioned into their man.
Sundqvist wants the huck there. Bedian's doing a great job on this point, just being the workhorse cutter downfield. Sundqvist back into Anders Dahlberg. He's been quiet so far in this game. Going to be a foul called. One of the famed Dahlberg brothers. There's 3 of them. Viksjorfors players. But Dahlberg, he's the only brother that showed up to this one. Great reset defense from the Danes. It's going to be another call. Looks like a push-off.
Dancing there from the dumb reset. I'm not a fan of that. Got to make sure you make a decision, maybe one fake, and then just clear out. Go the way your play is intended to. We're hearing some of you having some issues, but I think actually we've had a few people say that Chrome is working. If you could give us a post about some of the adjustments you're making to make it work for everyone, that would be really handy.
Dahlberg's looking to punch it in. This reset scheme is very confusing to me from the Swedes. Dump positions seem to be coming from all directions, and another call. Patrick Sundqvist getting frustrated.
I'll try and work it out while you're chatting, Liam.
Sundqvist into space. Sjögren punches it in to Anders Dahlberg.
Didn't get a chance to work it out, but you're right, there was some. It looked like they had a third handler who was starting the dump even whilst the secondary wasn't ready to go. But yep, Sweden able to punch one in. 2-4. Hope you are all enjoying this at home. We're up on a platform here. It's getting a bit windy, a bit chilly, but we'll deal with that for the love of the sport.
Again, continue to give us some shout outs on Twitter. Skied_Liam Rosen, that's Liamrosen. And you can find David at David_Price, Pryce. Beautiful stadium here in Copenhagen, the Valby Idrettspark.
Yep.
We were watching them before the game, finally tuning the grass. I think the fans here are expecting a little more. They want to see more action, David.
Yeah, I feel like the occasion and the nerves have really set in, but I think give them a few more points, and in the second half, they'll probably have worked themselves out of this hole.
So Denmark in their own end zone, coming the way up the field in a horizontal stack. Puck bringing that disc down.
Oh, that is...
It's actually quite a nice backhand hook.
Oh.
And that's going to be a foul call, very likely. That will be a call. It does not look like it will be contested, which
yeah, definitely
is
a foul.
the right call.
Yeah, I think the defender there was already giving up and saying, come on, we'll carry on play now from the front of the end zone. Oof.
Bjørsen on the end zone line looking for the dump. Gets it off to his dump. Nice flippy pass. Right into the end zone. It's dropped. And a brutal drop for the Danes. The pass just comes too fast.
Good play by the Danes, but so close.
Anders Dahlberg back with it, looking for Bedian. Into the center, another bobbled disc. This wind more brutal than it looks like on the stream.
Yeah, and the Swedes are always looking for that deep option, like almost immediately is their first look. Here we look at the break straight away, as expected. Oh.
It looks like a foul will be called.
Yeah, but that is definitely Esmond Hoy's first look will always be that break option.
It's so casual too. He takes the step and just puts so much touch in that disc and hits the Swedish defender right in the back. And that's probably my favorite moment of the game so far. Hug with the shimmy, back to Puck. Hug again looking for that same break move. Puck tracks down the blade. Danes looking to break, being pushed back. The stack now very far. Needs to come back into it. I think a lot of teams reluctant to move the stack so far out of the end zone when you've been pushed back, but it's the right move.
A lovely break there by Puck. Not quite the repeat there for number 7.
To the Swedes' credit, that was great dump defense from Anders Dahlberg, getting his body in the way, and Hug gets out-positioned by Dahlberg. Dahlberg back with the disc again, draws the foul. Just gets absolutely run into. So game getting a bit physical between these two European squads.
Yeah, totally mullered there. And I don't mean the German football player. The yogurt, for those that aren't sure.
Dahlberg with the break into the end zone for Sweden.
And a wonderful goal there. Taking on exactly the options they should be. That Anders Dahlberg was totally free there for the knifey long shot. And a great break from him for the assist.
Klas Staving, his first point of the game, bringing Sweden to within 1.
Yeah, from 4-1 down, now totally back in the game, 4-3. Another shout out here from Christopher Helms. Please can we go shout out for Faldo Faust or Faustamix? There we go. For all you Ultimate fans, we're here all week with Skyd Magazine's coverage. If you want to check out the schedule, it's on both the Skyd Magazine website and on the EUC official website.
And for anyone that is having quality issues with the stream, we will be uploading the VODs on a 24-hour delay to the Skyd Magazine YouTube channel. So make sure to follow that channel so you can watch the games on a time delay. Otherwise, feel free to follow live here on fanseat.com. If you are still having issues, let us know. We'll do our best to relay them. Unfortunately, it's not our app. So Sweden pulls off again to Denmark. Puck will pick up to Elskir. Esgeir puts it deep. That disc is gonna float.
Ooh.
Looks like a foul may be called. A late foul call, but it probably a good call. It does look like there was quite a bit of contact.
Yeah, Jespersen probably had an attempt at a second bid if he hadn't been fouled as well, so I think that's a legitimate call.
Denmark now with it. Stall count getting high. Where's the reset? And forced to put it right into the end zone. Well, the best reset, they say, is the end zone itself.
Yeah. I guess if you've got nothing else, you might as well give it a go.
Christian Luritz, the Estonian, has been living in Denmark for quite some time. Recently bought an apartment here.
Yep.
Really making his stay official.
A lot of these players, as we've already mentioned, playing in warm-up tournaments, sorry, on the Danish team, playing in warm-up tournaments like Toms and Windmill, but the club teams they play for, there are about 4 or 5 of them, but notably Ragnarok, of course, who we've seen in the European scene for a few years now, for a very long time in fact, doing very well back in Frankfurt a couple of years ago, coming 3rd.
Ragnarok is a very storied club team, although not all of these players come from Ragnarok. They're spread out from all over the country, 4 or 5 different teams.
Yeah, and actually this Ragnarok team have gone through a bit of a change. A lot of the older players have either moved on or retired, and they're very much younger national team now, with the likes of Stutz and Hoch.
There's a junky defense from the Danes. Lots of dump options open though. The Swedes are now already halfway down the field.
Yeah, they need to spread this out a little bit more. It might be windy, but you still have to use the space that's available to you. You'd hope that they'd be able to use their stronger throwers and get the disc into those areas of space. That's a lovely little break there. And there's that option. You want to get the disc on this sideline, on the higher wind side.
And it looks like this is a very loose format cup.
Yeah, it's not really applying much pressure to the upfield players, but a lot of pressure there around the handlers.
I do like it in the wind. It's just enough pressure to make you think twice about putting up some of the throws that both teams have used so far in this game.
But the Swedes here are being very, I was about to say very clever with it, but straight away.
And that's a drop, and that's all you need. In a zone like that, you need one floaty pass. And my idiom about zone defense, if you get one good shot at a D, even if it's not a D, then your zone is effective.
Yeah.
And that was an effective zone defense from the Danes. So Denmark now going the other way. Lindskrog back to Alsted. Denmark now on a vertical stack. Not great downfield movement from Denmark. Lots of poaching happening from Sweden. I'd like to see more give-goes from the Denmark to try to beat these poaches. Larsen dumps back to Sko. Sko to Skuvgard. Crowd dead quiet now. Alsted trapped on the far sideline. He's gonna punch one right up the line, and it's dropped.
Up to that point, Denmark doing really well though, like really holding on to the disc, taking on open options. Just a slight break in focus there, not able to hold on to it.
I think with this wind, this weather, it's tough to throw that many passes without having some drops happen. And we look at the Swedish team, very experienced, and yet they themselves have had a couple drops. The wind is just very hard to predict. Denmark back out in their zone, looking to force throws like this. Philip Skuld has not shied away from throwing some of those risky decisions. So Sweden right into the hands of the Danes, and all credit to Denmark. Now they've got to play at the right speed and not try to rush too much. Lindskrog with it right outside of the end zone. Out to space. Beautiful space throw from Lindskrog. I really like the quick disc movement here from the Danes. Not a lot of defensive pressure from the Swedes.
And as Liam Grant would say, a couple buttery backhands there for that goal with Denmark. 6-3 up. Games here to 17. 100-minute games.
And this game will almost certainly go to cap. It's been a fairly slow one, unless we see a rapid change in game speed. But Lindskrog doing a great job of putting that disc right in. As I said, I like the quick disc movement here from the Danes. If you look at the Swedish team on defense, they're poaching off a bit. And the best way to beat a poach is move the disc. If you sit there and you allow them to poach off, they will continue to do so. If you show that you can beat it, you will make them respect you and make them play tighter. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's definitely the best way to combat a poach or a zone is to keep that disc moving. And some teams prefer to attack to the cup or go around the outside, or of course go back to your dump and swing it as quickly as possible to get to the other side. And here with this wind being a side wind, you definitely want the disc on this this near sideline here to where we're commentating from. So Denmark up 6-3. Half will be at 9.
Byrien. Disc reception into Sundqvist.
Another junky or zony look here. Looks more like an arrowhead. Trying to push the handers through and make them swing.
So far, the zones have worked for the Danes.
Ooh, I'd be arguing that's a travel. He took quite a few steps there without slowing down, but slight miscommunication, but well saved there by the Swede. But not able to do it the second time.
Playing a second too fast for their own receivers, and maybe this lack of going to warm-up tournaments, lack of playing together really is hurting the Swedes.
Yeah, it does look like they haven't got much cohesion. It's almost like they've got a very experienced set of players and some lesser experienced players who aren't used to the speed or the stage itself.
Denmark working it back up. Bus now with it. Inside break to Elsker. Andres Elsker with the goal. Denmark 7-3.
And there's those beautiful breaks. Once again, the Danes looking for that inside break to get the goal. It's that simple. Like, you can see it here in the replay, a nice fake. Takes on that inside, and the defenders have no chance. He's a good 10 meters off his mark. Simple, beautiful offense from
great
the Danes.
cut from Elsker as well. That is actually 7-3, despite what you see there on your screen.
Got a few shout-outs on the interwebs. We have Martin Keseg asking, he missed the beginning, but he knew there was a minute silent towards the reason. The reason for that was that a couple of weeks ago, French master sadly passed away after having a heart attack at an ultimate game. And we were remembering him and sending our wishes to his family.
Many of his teammates not attending this week. The funeral is actually happening right now, so sending our best wishes to them. I know the French team is wearing armbands this week in remembrance of Sébastien Martineau. Sweden back out on offense, and Denmark in their trademark zone. It's worked for them so far.
Yeah, why change something when it works so well?
Speaking of changing, Sweden gonna try to beat the zone with some big throws, and Eric Andre had a shot at that disc but did not go for it. So a turnover from Sweden, and Denmark will go the other way. Stutz Stutz was a standout on the under-23 national team for Denmark just a couple weeks ago in London. Big flick hook to Mads Gottlieb. Nice reception from Mads. Back to Stutz. Stutz not seeing anything, has got to swing it. Skovgaard, back to Stutz. Jam it in the jam hole for the Danes. Bringing it to halftime.
No, half is a
17?
Half is a 9. Half is a 9.
I'm
All
coming
right.
from this American perspective, I apologize.
That's all
Games
right.
to 17, this is a new one for me, y'all.
We all make mistakes on commentary from time to time, as I'm sure the slow game will enjoy.
Speaking of not making mistakes, how about this Danish team?
Yeah, they were just really calm. I mean, you saw Stutz there a couple of times on the disc. A young player, but a very good player. I played against him, and he was incredible in the air. And there was very calm on the disc. He took his time, took a lovely option there that I think he probably had a bit of a high stall. Is it a timeout, potentially?
There'll be a timeout called.
Yeah, we're being told here it's a timeout. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Confusion reigns once again for the Sky Magazine coverage.
Confusion reigns, but the clouds do not. As you can see on your screen, very smooth transition happening both in our commentary and hopefully not to the rain today. Summer in Copenhagen, as we've been told, not as idyllic as has been in past years. It's a brisk 14 degrees.
Yeah, we've been told it's the worst in 15 years, which after what ended up being a very sunny weekend in the finals for U23s is a big change. Even for me, the Brit here for Sky Magazine, this is quite, I know this is probably quite a normal British summer, but this isn't quite what I signed up for. And Liam coming from California, he's struggling, let's put it that way. Even though now he lives in Pittsburgh. All right.
So Sweden will huddle it back up. David, did you ever imagine the score being 8-3 at halftime?
No, if I'm honest. From a historic point of view, the Swedes would come in as the strong favourite. But as we've mentioned, the Danes have done a lot of preparation, both here in Denmark and at foreign tournaments, playing at high-level ultimate, windmill and toms. A lot of big teams go there. As we'll see later, the likes of the Czech Republic, Germany, Great Britain, all attending windmill. So those are the best places to test yourself and prepare for what is the big tournament here for the summer for the senior squads.
We talked to Christian Müller, the Punisher, as he's known, number 0 on the Danish squad before the game. We asked him what his expectations were going in the tournament. He said they want to finish top 5. Beating the defending European champion would be a hallmark start to achieving that goal. As Denmark pulls off again, fantastic pull deep into the Swedes' end zone. Buden receives back to Sundqvist. Danish in what looks like an arrowhead zone. Sundqvist very aggressive playing now, wanting to send it deep. He's going to take the foul. Dahlberg. Back to Sundqvist. Dahlberg with the give and go.
So they've gone to man.
And Sundqvist really driving this offense, and he wanted that shot. That is what Sweden needs right there. Jakob Greenberg.
A beautiful backhand there. Down this near sideline, nice and low, very well weighted. That's like Liam says, that's exactly what we expected and exactly what they need at this point in the game. Score is now 8-4 to Denmark.
And you have to imagine they talked about that in the timeout. Sweden can't afford to turn the disc over in their own half of the field. They need to play aggressive. They have the athleticism. They have the height. If you're going to throw up 50-50 balls, you might as well throw them up in your own end zone, or in the opposing team's end zone.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had too many turnovers in the short field and in the middle of the field to give the Danes quick comeback goals.
And if I were Denmark, I, again, would be a bit nervous here. Sweden can come back. It's a long, long game. There's still time. Have to keep up the defensive pressure and cut down on that long game.
Yeah, I agree. As we said earlier, ultimate game of runs. And once a team can grab back the momentum, sometimes there's almost nothing you can do. And I've been in some amazing games where we've been 4 or 5 points down and got ourselves back into sudden death, inverse point situations. That it's a great feeling. It's very hard work.
High disc to Loritz for Ragnarok. Upline throw. Bit of contact between Sundqvist and Lossarovn.
The crowd here are getting a bit restless. Some are leaving, in fact. They're probably not enjoying this game as they might want to, or they want to prepare for tomorrow, as most of the teams start their first full games tomorrow. Ooh, some very, very heavy contact there from the Swedes.
Rovn having trouble getting it off the line.
Ooh.
Not a bad look, but bobbled by Bjørsen.
It's just lazy from the Danish player there.
Sundqvist. Bjørsen puts it deep. It's a bullet! Knocked away, though. Anders Bjørsen makes up for the drop by getting back the D.
Yeah.
Smacking that one away like a basketball near the rim.
A lovely comeback there, making up for that drop.
Elskier. He's been a solid handler for the Danish team so far. Gets it off the line to Puck. Puck crossfield to Loritz. To Puck. Rovn. Puck very solid at getting open is the reset handler. Not seeing much work downfield, but will work with Elskier. Back into the hands of Puck. Inside break. Back through the stack to Loritz. Bjørsen to the end zone. Yeah. And the layout. Clap catch from Lossarovn. Crowd getting into it now. They're seeing the spectacular plays they wanted to see as Denmark takes it to half, 9-4.
And that's strong by Denmark. They had a few little mistakes in that point, but they made sure eventually, and so actually some nice offense off of that turn by number 93.
So stay with us, Liam Rosen and David Price here, Sky Magazine at the European Ultimate Championships 2015. We'll be back shortly.
Food now.
as Denmark walks back to pick up the disc. Esben Høeg has been a calming force for the Danish offense. One of the reasons why they're up big on the Swedes in this first half of action. Esben's gonna put it deep. Christopher Buss streaking, and Buss with the sky. Oh. It's gonna be a strip call. Jakob Greenberg, and that's gonna be an immediate contest. I'm not sure if there was a strip call or a foul, but either way, it's a contested call.
Yeah, it looked pretty clean from where I was sitting. I mean, we'll see in a replay. But felt like the Danes had a good throw and a good read and receive on that one.
And that's something that can be prevented by the box out. And I know Buss is very tall, doesn't have to rely on that too much, but just using his body a bit more can allow him a little bit of space to prevent some of those more contentious calls. So Denmark swinging it back and forth in their own end zone. Elsker, Høeg, and Bøgeskov. Høeg, back out Elsker. Center to Høeg, far side. Loritz. Bøgeskov, Denmark, slowly working it up the field. Høeg comes back down with it. Sweden in a zone now. And I think that's an adjustment that they've made during halftime. Try to beat the Danes with some of their own medicine over the top to Buss.
Yeah, lovely scuba there from Esben Høeg. Not scared to take on the, well, some would say a riskier throw, but I've got a lot of faith in his throws and definitely came off that.
Buss having a tough time getting it off the line. Stall counts getting high, finally gets it across the field to Elsker.
I think he just needs to pivot a bit more, like he's standing a bit too still, but a lovely around throw there. I don't know where that hole was, we can't quite see. We will get up high in a second, fans, but that was a lovely find there. Oh! And the bid there from number one, not quite good enough. And giving the Swedes a chance now to get back in the game. Currently 5 points down.
Patrick Sundqvist going the other way. Danes again in their zone.
Yeah, both teams playing some zone here.
Sundqvist flick over the top. Not sure who that was to. He's had a couple of fatal decisions so far in this game. Elsker, far sideline.
I'm not sure it's really the zones that are working. Maybe the Swedes would, but there we have the goal. Danes taking control of this game now. Up 6 points, 10-4.
The Estonian Christian Loritz with the score.
That's fine. Definitely better angle. Yeah. Not bad.
This is why those e-cameras are sweet.
We're back here. We've now been lifted up. Had a quick munch on our dinner as well. But back with the ultimate. Sweden now on offense.
Sweden just has not looked like themselves so far in this game. They've been rushing the throws to no one. The dominant Swedish team of years past has not yet shown up in this game. We'll see in the second half if they can find some of their magic. It certainly would be a fantastic comeback. Filipovski, far sideline to Magnuson. Flick out to space. Nice box out, but no reception.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if it's the Danish defense or the Swedes not having good cohesion between their players that's causing all these turnovers. But either way, the Danes have so far taken pretty much every single turn that the Swedes have given them, giving them this 6-point lead, and are now potentially on for a 7th.
What I do like about the Swedish team is they have made a halftime adjustment, and that's that on defense they are going to use the zone. And a facet that I've seen about European Ultimate, coming from an American perspective, one of the things that I think European teams can improve on is making adjustments. So a lot of times I'll see this philosophy, especially from countries that aren't as developed Ultimate-wise, is you come into halftime and you just say, well, guys, we're down. What are we going to do? Well, let's just play harder.
Yeah.
Right? And that's something where a good team is going to say, we're going to make the following adjustments, X, Y, and Z. And those are the 3 things that we're going to focus on. So I like that Sweden is coming to this game. What I also hoped they wanted to focus on was just taking their time, not rushing, and looking for more of those deep shots to open receivers that have worked for them in the past.
Yeah, we on commentary here with Sky and in other places as well about how American teams often have those 3rd and 4th options that European teams can't handle. But we are seeing more and more of it. Oh, but there's that adjustment potentially paying off for the Swedes. A poach man in the lane being thrown straight to.
And an injury called from Magnuson after getting that D, and he's holding his hamstring. I hope that's not a pull.
That would be potentially the worst time to be injured. Is the first game of the tournament. Let's hope he's all right. Just a little twinge maybe.
So Sundqvist will come in for Magnuson.
Taps the disc, means everyone can move.
Magnuson, the injured player, one of Sweden's coaches. We approached him to talk before the game, and turns out he's actually a player coach. Sweden with only 21 men on the roster, needing all the help they can get. Forsberg, the in-stride huck. That's going to sit with a fantastic reception by Eric Andre. Andre stranded.
There's a call back, I believe probably a travel of some description, normally the type of stoppage we expect here. And we can see, actually, you can't see on the stream, but we can see just down here, Magnuson, the injured player, being strapped up by his by number 18, who's got a fantastic beard, as mentioned by Sarah Harrison on Twitter. I'm quite jealous, I'd say.
Going to start Beard Watch again at this tournament. Is Jamie Cross playing in this tournament, David?
Yes, he's here.
Jamie Cross, hope to see him on the stream. Perennial winner of the Ultimate Beard and Mustache contest.
I'm trying myself. I don't think I'm there quite yet. But Jamie does have a fantastic beard and mustache.
We'll get David Price on stream soon, as the Swedes with an unfortunate drop and a great put out to space for Stutz. That was one of the best throws that we've seen in this game.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we were talking about earlier, how the Danes give him I mean, it took a few turns there, but they took an option that was very good, moved it very quickly, and taking advantage of the disc that the Swedes had given them. So whilst we're talking about Twitter, I have a few little shout-outs whilst we've been in the half. Nick Smith of Manchester Ultimate telling me not to say buttery, but by doing that I said it, so it's kind of a moot point.
So stick that in your pipe and smoke it, Nick Smith.
Yeah. a nice little reference there. I'm trying to think what that's from. I know it.
Max Holden. I might miss my flight back to Sydney from U23s watching the Sweden versus Denmark stream in Amsterdam. Well,
No.
Max, hope you don't miss your flight and hope you enjoyed your time in Amsterdam.
And I think we've got your iPod. I think Max Holden, we have your iPad, and I think Mike Palmer will bring it back to Australia for you. I might be wrong there. But Ultimate Community, ever smaller than you imagine.
Great references as usual from David Price. If you'd like to give us a shout out on Twitter, Skyd_Liam Rosen and David_Price, as Sweden now with the disc facing a brutal defeat, staring it down. It would take a monumental comeback to put this game back in their hands, down 11-4 with 75 minutes of game time gone.
But you never know, Liam. You never know. We still have 25 minutes to go in game time. Cap is at 17.
Mind you, the Swedes defending European champions. Now, these tournaments are 4 years apart. This is a very different roster than Sweden has seen in past years.
The travels here. Quite insane how far the pivot foots are moving.
Sweden working it down the field. Sundqvist overthrows Fjursberg, and it has not been Patrick Sundqvist's game. Lindskrog, on the other hand, has played very well. Mads Gottlieb with the disc. Had a deep option, didn't take it. Now he does. A disc to space, and that actually looked quite good. I think the wind came up and affected it.
That was the same player who'd gone deep previously, and his defender just seemed to think he was just going to come under, and he, waited a couple seconds, still had the deep space to run into, but just the throw not executed as well as you'd hoped.
Filipovski going the other way.
Oh.
A drop from Sweden.
Have a bit of a running theme here. Swedes unable to hold on to the disc, and there we go. Fantastic spike by the Danish player there.
Mads Lidkrog is, well, we'll give that one to him. He's having a hell of a game.
Yeah, quite the character, and hopefully he didn't damage the disc. That would be my, and the Dane there picking up and being like, oh, come on. What have you done? It's not flat. It's taco, not pancake.
I would like to point out that Robin is coming on the loudspeaker, so the Swedish pop star. This may give the Swedes a bit of an impulse as another timeout is taken. Sweden wants to talk things over. David and I will be back with you after this timeout.
You know Robin? You see Robin? So good. So good. Really good.
So we'll be here all week, as we've already mentioned. We'll actually be streaming from pitch 2. This is the arena pitch, which is only being used today and for finals. So for the rest of the week, we'll be on pitch 2, which is just behind the stand. You can probably just out of the corner there see another mini stand. And that's where we'll be streaming from. Oh! That looked like it touched him before it hit the floor. But good pull there from Denmark.
Filipowski looking to get it out of the Swedes' end zone. Greenberg. Near layout D from Denmark. Carlson. Sjögren sends it deep. Greenberg's been their money deep receiver.
Ooh.
Runs that one in. Doesn't look like he was in though. Nice patience by Greenberg.
And a nice little around break there. Getting themselves on the scoreboard. Still haven't made their own half yet. They are 12-5 down. That was kind of more the play we want from Sweden and what we expected, as we said at the beginning, the sort of deep option to then lay off for the goal.
Identify your deep receivers and huck to them when they're open. Was also not the greatest throw. It was right over his head. But it worked.
Yeah, nice option and finish by the Swedish team. So we're here at 80 minutes, as we said. Game's up to 100. Get back on the Twitter now. So mention the beards. There's a lot of love for the beard commentary. We'll come back to that. There's quite a few beards here, and especially in the Nordic countries.
Who doesn't love beards? That's my question.
Some ladies don't. I mean,
really?
You know, you gotta look after those things, like conditioner, shampoo them, so they're not scratchy and horrible. So
well, I like when other people have them.
Are you kissing people with beards?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just admiring.
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense.
Sweden pulls off again to Denmark. Elskier having a hard time tracking that one down. It's a tricky pull. Back to who? Elskier and Hug working in tandem with the give-go. Christian Loritz has that bobbled. I believe he's calling a strip. The question is, was that disc in his possession when it came in? Loritz made history for his home country of Estonia last year. He was named to the Ring of Fire roster, became the first Estonian player to play at U.S. Nationals.
Nice facting.
Back in Denmark. And the Danes will move it back up the field. Swedish zone still looking strong. Loritz again. Elskier. Great work by Elskier getting it off the line. And I've been impressed by these two handlers, Hug and Elskier, on the offensive line. Very solid. Getting the job done. Loritz now.
The wind here appears to have died down a tad, making this zone look a bit more ineffective. But it looks like they've transitioned into man.
Hug wants the inside break. Goes for the around instead. Rovn. Back to Hug. And Denmark can do this all day. That is as long as they don't turn it over first.
Yeah, they are being pushed back still, though, so this Swedish man defense is being quite effective.
The Punisher. Haven't seen too much from him in this game. Elskier. Finding Bakkegaard. Jesper Bakkegaard, that's the last name many know and fear in the Danish Ultimate community. His older brother, Mads, one of the founders of Ragnarok. Bakkegaard checks the disc back in. Too far for Esben Hug. Sweden not going to fast break. Sundqvist wants the deep shot, not there. Back to Dahlberg. Dahlberg to Burian.
Nice.
Löw. Up the sideline. Starving. About 5 meters out. Pops it in to Dahlberg.
There's
Looks like
a
there will be a call.
Bit of freestyle in the end zone there. Spinning the disc on his finger. Nice. But looks like Dahlberg is uncontested.
Klas Starving still with it. Violation.
And this is where the game sometimes slows down, this sort of third quarter, where tired minds get a bit involved and you get a few violation calls. And again, another call. It's like a foul.
Really cooling down here in Copenhagen as some players looking for shelter elsewhere.
Something to note is that there are no, as we said, no game advisors here, but the people in yellow are actually the volunteers, so don't get confused.
And the Swedish players.
And the Swedish players. Team yellow here are not advisors. They are Sweden or the volunteers.
Sweden with a chance to put it in. Dahlberg right outside the line, finds Starving.
And those breaks from Sweden are being super effective. -1 from the Denmark HP. But will it be enough? Will they be able to grab back the momentum in this game? Punch a few more goals in and make it a bit tighter. Definitely been a one-sided affair so far, with the Danes up 12-6.
And this game, assuming all continues as it has been, is going to leave some questions in the minds of the fans. Does Sweden have what it takes to repeat? What do their medal chances look like after this game? It's a key to finish first or second in the pool in a tournament like this. Denmark going for top 5, as the Punisher noted earlier.
Yeah, I mean, especially when they're going to come across some of the stronger nations, like Germany, Great Britain. They've really got to pull their socks up to beat those sort of teams.
Pull goes out of bounds. Liam Rosen and David Price here on Skyd Magazine. Keep sending us your tweets and your shout-outs. Skyd_Liam Rosen, that's LIAM_ROSEN. And David_Price, DAVID_PRYCE. Elsker. Swinging far side, he's been the leader of this offense so far. A Scuber to puck. Quick forehand, backside to Luritz. Luritz in the bus.
So I think this zone has actually been quite effective for the Swedes. Well, now they've gone to man, but the zone they were playing earlier in the point. Oh, man down. Catch it.
It's going to be an injury call.
Crowd thinking it's a goal. The stands here are kind of emptying out. I think players are maybe not enjoying this game as they hope they would, and probably preparing for tomorrow. It is around, for those of you watching, it's 5 to 7 in the evening. So
Puck. Back to the Punisher. Punisher looking for his dump. Back to Elsker. Foul call. And this is something, David, where I'd like to see continued or better use of the contact call. to prevent the stoppages in play. Now, if there's no throw, you can call contact.
Yep.
And the stall count resets to 0?
No.
It goes down 2. I'm sorry. This is, again, USA Ultimate rules.
So
goes down 2.
Goes down 2, yeah. So you essentially count the same number twice. Yeah.
And it's just an easy way to identify that there has been the foul without trying to stop play. And a great disc from Hawk, and what a fantastic display of line awareness from Buda.
Yeah, a lovely toe in there by Buda. Under quite a lot of pressure from the Swedish defender.
In a very slow tiny zone. Check out this replay. And this disc just floats a bit too much.
And here comes the Swedish defender. Oh.
Fortunately, you can't really see his toe, but he did manage to stay in.
He was in, and the other foot was up.
Sideline confirms it.
Yeah, back to the marking infraction. A lot of the training that I've done in the past has looked at, if you're being fouled earlier in the stall, just call contact, get it down to 0. But late in the stall, you might want to, call the foul, and if it's uncontested, you're going to get back to 0. So yeah, there are some advantages, like you say, to calling contact, particularly early in the stall. But again, a very veteran thing to do would be late in the stall. I think you can pull a foul, pivot in such a way that they may foul you. It's worth a try, and if not, you're going to have to punt it anyway, right? So.
Alsted on the pole for Denmark. Denmark playing well in front of the home crowd. That pole will just land in, giving the Danish defenders time to get down. Beauty.
Perfect pulling there from Danes.
Very close mark now from Denmark. Carlsen rips the high release backhand deep to Forsberg. Forsberg going to the second effort.
Yeah.
Snatches that one out of there. How big has Tom Forsberg been for Sweden? It's his 3rd point of the game.
Max City here for Sweden. I'd like to hope he didn't do it on purpose. Bit cheeky if he did, but he did have a lot of pressure, so I'd probably say that was an accident. Yeah, he had no idea, but well tracked by Forsberg. Sweden now with a couple on a trot. 13-7. And there's that huck, that low, directed backhand that we fully expect from Sweden. And a lovely replay there from both angles for
Lindskog just giving everything on the ground, trying to go for the D. Mr. E has been Høg on the Denmark O-line, waiting to receive the pole.
And we only have 8 minutes here left here. We'll probably reach time cap, I think, before points cap. Oh, another great pull.
There may be an offsides call.
Yeah, it looks like if we look on the far left of the pitch from our perspective, we can see. Yep, there we go. Just there on the pitches there, we saw a player holding a cross above their head. That is the Wooftuf hand signal for offside, and you don't have to call it. If you think that the pull is not very good, you can just say, "Now we'll play on." But that was a very good pull from the Swedes, and I think correctly they called them offside. We had previously noted, but didn't mention on the stream, how far offside the Swedes were being, and there have been a couple of the Danes watching them, and I'm definitely calling it. This is the first time that their offensive line have agreed and called it on the field. So here's the repull. If it doesn't go, if they're offside again, they would have to just start on the pull as if there was a dead disc situation. Sorry, on the brick mark.
Puck into Høg. Really cooled down as the wind has picked up. Luditz back to puck.
There's that zone again from Sweden. Broken with the knife there.
Bakkegaard looking to advance. Back to Luditz. Nice disc into puck. Bur, Luritz, too easy. Bus.
It's like first-year Frisbee. The Swedes weren't applying any pressure. I think they should have really transitioned. As soon as that knife had gone up, it's pretty much broken their zone. Get some tight man on, but they're just not here. They're not in the game. They're not present.
Sweden has no answer to the efficiency of the Danes. And don't get me wrong, home field advantage, this is also a very, very good Danish team. There's a couple of big-name Ragnarok players on this team. There's a couple of players who have played in the US, Canada. Lots of experience.
They haven't been perfect, but they're still just better. I think just better fundamentals.
I think they have a long way to go in order to build the chemistry, but when they get there, this team could potentially be an outside looking in for the semifinals.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll see how they progress through the rest of the tournament. Of course, here at EUC, we have 4 other divisions: women's, masters, women's, mixed, masters, and women's masters, the other 4 divisions, as well as the open.
Total of 55 teams here at this tournament, over 1,500 players coming to chilly Copenhagen for this tournament. Greenberg needs to get it off the line. Oh. Does so. Too far, and Skuld not having a great game. That's his 4th turnover of the game.
Yeah, it looked like a nice option, but again, execution about 50%, if that.
Sweden's going to come back out, though, in his own. Alsted.
And this kind of plays into the Danes' hands, I think, now. They're definitely much calmer than they were at the beginning of the game. They've got their flow with their handlers. And as we've already said, they're a bit better in terms of fundamentals, able to get the mark moving, keep the defense guessing where they want to throw it.
And Stutz has got to spread the field deep. There he goes now. Sweden playing 2 tall guys back deep. Lots of room. And what a disc up there for Stutz. He bobbles but recovers.
Ooh, I think he knocked off his face a little bit. He was lucky. The score now 15-7 with 4 minutes, well, more like 3 minutes to go. A lovely put there by Denmark. And you may not be able to hear, but the music here is put your hands up. And the Danes should definitely be doing that. They should be celebrating now. They're 8 points up in this game. It's very unlikely that the Swedes will come back in the time they've got. And as I say, I'd be very surprised if they can even get close to this Danish team.
What a nice way to open up your home tournament with a, as I said before when we were opening up the game, beating Sweden would be a hallmark win to achieving that goal of a top 5 finish. And this will certainly set them on the right track. Coming into Tuesday with 1 pool play win.
The time running down now. I'd argue to say this will be the last point unless we get a 30-second goal, which we have had. We had a 23. Some of the stats I saw were it's probably I think it was less than 30-second goal, and one of the longest points was almost half an hour, with a lot of zone being played in some games. Actually, it sounded like it wasn't a terrible point, more just some very good zone. Now
Forsberg into Birgen, and it's been drop city for Sweden in this one. This is a game that they would like to forget.
Yeah, and you're starting to see that on their faces a little bit. They don't seem very happy and very demotivated.
Sometimes you have a game where nothing goes right. And I think the mental edge here is Denmark puts one deep.
And there's that mental edge. That player would normally have a great bid on that, but just gave up in the air. And maybe we will get to points cap. It's now 16-7 with about a minute left to go.
Lauritz pulls one in. So I think the key for Sweden here is how do you go forward in this tournament after such a marquee loss to honestly what most would consider an upset? And the answer is you just forget about it.
Yeah.
You take 20 minutes to talk about this game and you put it out of your mind.
Yeah,
you can't focus on the rest of the tournament.
You just can't let those sort of losses hang over you. I mean, that could ruin your tournament from now on. And it's just one loss at the beginning of the tournament. Yeah, it's on the stream, but you know, so what? You don't have to watch it when you go home. You can just remember the end result, right? And that's only going to get better if you forget the loss, move forward, and get some scalps as you go. And that takes a lot, but that takes a lot of mental strength.
So we see here on the replay, this is the line toe from earlier, which is one of the better plays in this game. So Denmark will look to close it out here as we reach the cap.
Yeah, and we can hear the whistles there, which indicate the end of time. So it would be this point +1, but that's also the points cap. So, oh, goal!
Did he touch it? That's the question.
Oh, I think they get 2 extra points for that, no? I wish.
Filipowski's saying he didn't touch it.
It didn't look like it, I'll be honest.
It looked like it just rolled right through his legs. It's just been one of those days for the Swedish Open team.
Yeah, feeling like a freight train.
Vertical stack look here with 3 handlers back. Gets it into Forsberg. Ooh, hard mark from the Danes. Norden. Far side to Butian. Back to Norden.
Danish fans getting involved now. You can hear them shouting along their compatriots.
Forsberg wide open, puts up the flick. Bobbled!
Oh, nice grace attempt there, but also some great D from the Danish player. Able to get his hand in there and not foul, importantly. And there we see the replay, just enough pressure.
Lindskrog again, Lindskrog
he would have
had a fantastic
He would have been out there anyway, I think. His foot was on the line. A nice attempt, but not quite good enough.
So Alstead looking to put this one away. Looks like there will be a foul call right out of the stat.
Yeah, this, as we mentioned, this would be the game if the Danes scored it.
Far swing and a drop. And that's a tough bullet swing pass. So Sweden with a short field, gonna look to fast break. Filipowski. Not yet in, dumping and swinging, looking for any open spots, and that's not what you want to see on game point.
That quick reaction there from the Swedes is actually quite a typical thing. In fact, in the UK, we call it the Swedish, where they'll quickly get the disc on the front of the end zone and just pop one in. But the Danes reacted well, able to break down that offense and stop them scoring as quickly as they'd hoped to.
That was Greenberg that went down on that one. He's been one of the lone bright spots for the Swedish team. He just tripped over someone's ankle there.
We're back in.
Inside break. Speak of the devil. Greenberg himself, 16-8, so Denmark will have to get it done on offense.
Yep. Games to 17. We've both met the time cap and points cap here. Sun is setting, I imagine. Can't quite tell with the clouds, but it's definitely getting a bit darker here, so we wouldn't want to take too much time with this last point.
I was a bit confused when you said the word sun. I was looking around to see if I could see any sort of glowing orb.
Yeah, it's definitely getting darker though as we talk.
Join us tomorrow. We've got 3 games here on Sky Magazine. Liam Rosen, Liam Grant, and David Price.
Yep, I believe myself and Liam Grant will be doing the first game. And then it will be myself, it'll be Liam, sorry, and Liam. Don't worry, we're going to come up with some fantastic nicknames for them to differentiate themselves. And then the final game will be myself and Rosie Liam.
So puck from Denmark will move the disc up to the brick mark. A neat vertical stack. Puck's gonna put it deep. Beautiful defensive possession.
Bit of football going on there, playing with his head.
Lou. Slow recovery from Denmark.
And the Swedes want to lengthen this game out, but cannot connect their offense again.
Denmark will take their time setting up. Going to be an injury called. Christian Loritz will come in from Bus, who was on the receiving end of that defensive possession earlier in the play.
As we see in the replay here, just a lot of pressure from those two Swedes.
It was a drop, yet
yeah.
I misidentified that as an active D.
I'd probably argue there's some pressure. Again, the Danes going deep straight away.
That's a tough reception right over his head, and all Denmark has to do now is stay patient. This will be a good lesson for them in end zone offense.
And there
Out
we
to
go.
Space. Denmark wins the opening game, and Sweden walking away angry. Lots to talk about on the Swedish sideline. But right now, the honor is all in Denmark to win it in front of the home fans, their home country. What an honor for this team. An auspicious start to their tournament hopes.
Yeah, definitely the deserved winners here. As we already mentioned, the Danes had a lot better fundamentals in terms of moving the disc, keeping the disc, and taking on the right options. And the Swedes just didn't look like they were in it. Their heads, their feet, their arms, their hands, nothing working for them. But let's hope that they can gather their thoughts this evening, get themselves back on the same page, maybe do a couple sprints in the morning, get themselves running nice and early, and muster themselves together into a win.
This is Liam Rosen for David Price. Sky Magazine's coverage of the European Ultimate Championships in Copenhagen, Denmark. Join us tomorrow for Finland versus Russia in the women's division. Till then, have a great night, great evening, wherever you might be in the world, and we'll see you next time.
To the atmosphere, the European Ultimate Championship 2015.